So I've scraped Orchid and a couple other things to build the citation lists for the board members. Bob Bob is the most complicated with 430. The and I spent a big chunk of time over the weekend deduplicating and merging the stuff inside Zotero. I think it seemed to me like it would be smart to get the Zotero cleaned up before trying to go back to to ToolForge and the upload to minimize the number of duplicates that I would accidentally create. So we're 70–80% of the way through this. I've moved some of Anna's stuff over, I think. And I'm sort of using this as my own personal training project to make sure that I understand what I'm doing before teaching other people. And we have the YouTube video available now, and segmented. So I'm going to go back and look at that again. Guillermo I'm aware of 3 human beings that have watched that. Me, Wilson is the student that sliced it into pieces, and Guillermo watched the whole thing as a board member interested in learning the skills, and so he's been playing with the Wikidata some too. And Guillermo, just as a quick refresher, is much stronger than me with Git, and he's the one that's trying to drag me into GitHub, and he's ahead of me with the R programming and RedCap. So you and he are the 2 power users on the board that have a lot of technical expertise that I'm trying to figure out how do we share with others.
Now, there's a couple of additional things to just pop in there so that you know that are related. The first one is a whole load of additional teaching relevant material has just been recorded and made over the last 2 weeks because of one, Open Access Week, in which I ran a Wikidata workshop for academics. So I've developed some general Wikidata editing material for that.
Please share.
I shall send that through. It's already up on Commons actually, so I can send through the PowerPoint slides, and I'm going to do a re-recording of it because we ran out of time. I had a 60-minute session, but to be honest, 90 minutes of material. So I'm going to re-record the workshop so that it's possible for people to just watch along with it. So there was Open Access Week, and then today was the last day of the Wiki Site conference, which is specifically using Wikidata for bibliometric citation and research work items. So there were demos of the author disambiguation tool from the person who created it. There were demos of how to import data from Orchid. And finally, I've just finished building the R package for uploading data into Wikidata from R. And so, for example, if you know that someone has a really well-populated Orchid account, or if they have a really well-populated Google Scholar account, or a Scholar ID, or something like that, that they've got all of their works somewhere, there are R packages where you can pull data from, say, Crossref, and then now that I've finished the Wikidata R package, export it over into Wikidata, all within R. So that's an additional alternative way of possibly doing some of this.
And with it being in R, that opens up a whole bunch of visualization possibilities with Shiny and and automating that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, both visualization and also pipelining, like automation. So one of my aims would be to just be able to give it someone's ORCID, and then to have a script where you just give it someone's ORCID, and it will check in ORCID, it'll check in Crossref, it'll check in Google Scholar, it'll like go through all of these different locations, download their publication lists, filter them and merge them for duplicates so that you're not, getting duplicates for everywhere, but hoping to have the maximum, Venn diagram area. Check on Wikidata as to which of those items already exist on Wikidata. If there's any information about those items that isn't yet in Wikidata for those, just edit and update those items. And for anything that it didn't find at all in Wikidata, create those items. That's something that is not yet ready, but all of the technical infrastructure is now there. So all of the R packages are now there to do that. It's just a case of going through and putting functions together in R to actually create the script.
that sounds beautiful. I think that'll be much easier for me to use, and definitely opens up the possibility of a large group of other people. Part of the faraway look is I'm teaching a data science course for the second time in the spring, and it got good reviews the first time, but it was also my first time trying to do it all in R, and so there was an ugly learning curve for all of us. And so I'm listening to that and being like, hey, that I may be able to weave some of that in as I do, and that I expect my R skills to go up another notch doing that one again anyway.
And look, so this is something that I'm saying just to sort of, so that it's in the back of your mind to know that this is something that you could do, rather than like, this is definitely the way to do it right now.
Yes, I completely understand that part. Seems like there are many ways of skinning cats. Is that even an expression in Australia?
It is. It's still a weird expression.
It is.
Yep, it's a